Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Summer Gonzalez from the On Point with Summer Show. I'd like to welcome you, as always, every Thursday, 6:30 to 7, to Blog Talk Radio, the On Point with Summer Show, where it's always summertime, baby. And we have a wonderful show for you tonight. We have a very talented young man. His name is L.A. Keith, and he is in the building. And we are going to be speaking to him in a moment. That was his song that you heard at the top of the show. And we're going to be talking about his latest hits and what he's got coming up and a performance that he just did recently the other night that I didn't make it to, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first of all, let me tell you where I'm coming to you live from Classics Recording Studios, one of the biggest and best and newest recording studios in South Florida. You need to check them out. You need to set up call them to make an appointment at 305-999-9786. Classics Recording Studios. They got it going on over here. You need to come check them out. You never know who's going to be in the building. You might run into me. You never know. So come check them out. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to send a shout out to my family up in Virginia, Harrisonburg, Stanton, Bridgewater. I just left them actually this morning. Flew back to Miami. I had to go up and say goodbye to my grandmother. She's 103 years old. She passed away on Veterans Day, actually, last week. And what a beautiful lady. What a wonderful life she lived. And I just want to send a shout out to her. And I have her little dove here with me. They had these on all of her flowers. And all the grandchildren, hopefully all the grandchildren got one. But I definitely got mine, and she's with me. And she's going to go on my Christmas tree this year in celebration of her wonderful life, ladies and gentlemen. And shout out to my girl, Rhonda. I know you're listening, girl. You always do. You're always supporting. Sherman and Cindy. I know you're in the building, too. All right, so let's get to know my guests. I can't wait. I can't wait to speak to you. I wanted to tell the crowd how I ran into you. It was like by accident. I was working with Emmanuel Rowe, which is a mutual colleague of ours, and he told me about you. And when he showed me your Facebook page and everything, I was like, get him, call him, we'll hook it up, you know. So shout outs to E-Rowe for doing that, for hooking us up and everything. Definitely. But definitely, L.A. Keith is in the building. Welcome to the On Point with Summer Show, man.
Thank you for having me.
How's everything going with you?
Everything's going pretty good. You know, just continuing to grind, do the things that's needed to do.
Yeah, the hard major grind.
The things behind the scenes people don't see.
Yeah.
For the songs.
Exactly.
The hard work that goes into making a song.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk. I want that. That's what I like for the guests to do, is to get the fans to know what it is that you're doing for them, because you know it is a grind, and a lot. Most of the fans do know. Mm-hmm. They do know because you know they're true fans and they're following you. But what I like to do is get into your head and see what you were thinking when you were writing your song, when you went in the booth and things like that. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, you know the name is L.A. Keith. The L.A. stands for Lyrical Arson. Born and raised Miami, Florida. You know what I mean? I've been in the studio performing, putting out songs for about the last 12 years.
Wow.
But I actually became a solo artist for probably the last 3-4. Mm-hmm. And finally gave it my 100% total effort, focused on this. And instead of dibbling and dabbling, you know, instead of being a jack of all trades, learn to be an ace of one. Mm-hmm. So you know what I mean? Just put my all into it.
Yeah, I feel basically. That. Yeah.
So coming from Miami, Florida, been doing it for about 12 years. You know, I am Miami, dress Miami, talk Miami. You know, it is what it is. This me. It's what you get.
Yeah, I love it. I like your swag. I like that one picture of you. I couldn't get it on the website because I guess it was too big.
Which one?
The one where you're like standing in the
okay, that was right before the Ludacris concert.
Okay.
I opened up for Ludacris last year.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, because the file was so large, I guess because it's a very good quality picture, so I couldn't get it onto the site. But I will have it on Facebook after the show. I'll put it up, and I'll put all the ones that you sent over,
Okay.
because they were really nice, and there were some pictures of you and Piccolo and Ludacris. You got a picture with them and everything.
Got a couple.
So look those up. They look real good. It's a good look. So tell me about the Piccolo. Did you go on tour with him, or what was going on with that?
What happened with that one, thanks to my manager, Greg, that was the first song I actually started writing when I started to make, I guess you can say, my comeback. And it was called I'm Not Going Nowhere.
Okay.
Basically, it speaks for itself. So when I heard it, me being Miami, I figured, I would like somebody on it that's definitely Miami with me, who speaks Miami, who is totally Miami. So he came in, and I gave him the idea and the concept, and he ran away with it. He fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And then we went to do the concert. He was willing to perform it. He wanted to be a part of everything, and it was just like a mutual thing. So he made it happen. And
yeah, it does happen too. You can tell. I mean, when you say he fell in love with it, it's a relationship. You know? Yeah, you could call it collab or whatever you want, but it is definitely a relationship.
Yeah, it is.
Because when you go in the studio and you start working with the engineer, you kind of have to have some type of connection.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. So.
Or you can hear it throughout the music if you don't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So we're gonna play that song a little bit later. I know I always ask, for the artists to explain their music style and genre, because I call your style hip hop.
That's what I call it. Okay. Yeah, I call it hip hop.
All right. So you talk about. I know I didn't send this question to you, but now I'm going over what.
No problem.
So because you've been in the game a while,
mm-hmm.
So you've seen hip hop change over those years. What is your opinion of the way it has changed from maybe like 12 years ago when you first came in the game to now? Yeah.
I think it's getting back to where it was in the late 80s, where music was a feel-good thing and not so much a hardcore talk about all your problems. Now everybody's starting to celebrate more, have fun again. And so that's where I see it progressing towards, mm-hmm. and that's what it's coming to.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's a positive thing. So, because it's always hip-hop, rap, whatever you choose to call it, it's always looked on as being negative.
Yeah, it does.
And it's getting back to being positive. Most songs you hear on the radio is positive about the positive things people doing. It's becoming a celebratory thing, and that's a good thing in my opinion. That's what I like about it, and that's how I've seen the progress. And I grew with it, mm-hmm. because if you don't learn to grow with change, you get left behind. So
mm-hmm. Definitely
learn to grow with it.
I like that when you said you will get left.
Yeah.
Get right or get left. It's so true. There's a lot of new school hip hop artists out there that are trying to go back to that way too, like you say. And I like that. I appreciate it. I know that you sent me your music radio ready, mm-hmm. So that I didn't have to try to figure out where I was going to cut it and do all this, so I definitely big ups to you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it. That's a smart artist to do it. You do a version for the radio, and then you do your version for the club, and so that you can try to satisfy whatever it is. Yeah. Exactly. That's really smart of you, and I see you've learned a lot over the years. Talk about your management team. You got your manager in the building. Talk about him.
None other than Greg. 23 A&R management. And he puts in work, man. I do the music, and he makes everything else happen.
Yeah.
Everything else.
Yeah, he definitely is your backbone. We've been speaking. I hadn't met you until now.
Yeah.
So I've definitely been working with him, and he's doing you right.
Yeah.
Because everything that I asked for was on time, on point, sent straight. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's very professional. You got a professional team behind you. And that's hard to find, but when you find it, keep it. You know what I mean? Keep them. You can pay me later. Your song, That's My Song. Talk about that. How did that come to fruition?
Well, how that came about was also Greg's doing for a huge part of it, because I guess he was out and about one day, and he was having a conversation with whomever he was speaking with, and they were talking about the components it takes to make a hit song.
Okay.
So they were saying, you know, a lot of times you definitely need a good beat, you need a nice hook, you know, things like that. So as he relayed the message to me, and then he actually came, he brought a beat to me, like, hey, this is a beat for it.
Okay.
And then I kind of ran away with the concept that he gave me. But then I started to think, like, what is the one thing that ties all music together? I don't care if you listen to country, I don't care if you listen to rock, pop, whatever you may listen to. The minute you put on whatever song that you love, the first thing you say is, that's my song.
That's my song.
It don't matter. You may say it in a different way.
Right.
Different tones.
Yes.
Some people switch the last word to that's mine. But along the same lines.
We know what, yes. We know what it is, right?
So I just, you know, incorporated all those, and it just kind of flowed.
Yeah, I like it too. I like that song, because that's my song now. You know? So yeah, let's listen to that. Wow, I love it. You guys want to hear more of that? We're gonna play. We'll play it a little bit later for the YouTube video. But I like the song. I really do. And like you say, it's something that's so obvious, you know, that we say all the time.
Since the beginning of time.
And that makes it so catchy. And you know, because like a lot of songs I'll hear out there, I'm like, why didn't I think of that? You know, and so. It's good that you're doing that. And who's produced that, and where did you guys?
The guy who produced it, his name is Crazy on the beat. He's out of New York, Atlanta, Houston. He's everywhere.
Okay.
But he actually produced it, and the guys who engineered it made it sound good. Who put the last effort into it to make it sound like it sounds. It was Ozzy and the Deacon. They out of Orlando, and it was just a nice formula. It all put it in the pot.
Yeah,
and
nice. It's like a potluck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how you said that, put it in a pot, because it is. People don't realize all the time. Hey, how are you? People don't realize how many different people are involved in the making of a song. You know. So that's a good look. Yeah, we just had another artist walk through, going into the recording studio side. You never know who's going to come in here. Seriously, we might see Pickle walk in. You never know. So, you know, if you see somebody else coming in, don't worry. They're part of the show now. That's how we do at the Pointed Summer Show. But so how can people get a hold of your music so they can go back and are you on iTunes yet? Do you have it on?
No, it's not on iTunes yet.
A lot of the music is already out there. Just Google Miami rapper LA Keith. Any music's on YouTube. You can just Google LA.L.A Keith. Any Miami rapper LA Keith, you will find 4 or 5 pages of LA Keith. YouTube LA Keith, I ain't going nowhere. That's my song. Everything is tagged, and you will be able to find everything. Also on Twitter at LA Keith 305. Also at That's My Song 305 as well. As far as the Twitter, you can keep all info, keep up with all info, shows, interviews, events, etc. That's how you're able to look up everything. And That's My Song 305 at Gmail if you want to get more exclusive and get a little bit closer to LA Keith. Just send us an email. Drops, DJs, just send an email. 24 hours.
All right, yeah. I just want to say, you guys have, again, I've already said it, but I'm repeating myself, but I don't care because my show.
Do what you want.
Yeah. Professional team, man. Professional team you have. You guys really have it all together. I put the commercial on. I was blasting that all over Facebook. I love that. I love it. I was like, what? Can I? Who? That's them again?
That was
Promotional team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good work, man. Good work. I didn't have to say nothing. I said enough said. It was just like boom, you know. And I love it. You know, I know you're doing big things already. I know you're just gonna do even more. So, just continue to do what you're doing and stay around those positive people that you're with right now. You know.
Need the positivity.
Tell us why you grind like you do. Why is it? Who?
Well, personally, it's always been a dream of mine, and it's that motto I was speaking of before. I've always been, I'll say, blessed enough to be at least well enough to get by in anything that I chose to do.
Okay.
So I never took one thing and perfected it. So this was the one thing I chose to perfect, and that's what I want to do. I want to seek perfection. When I say perfection, when it comes to music, perfection is definitely within the artist, and so I just that's why I grind like I do, because to me I haven't reached my limits yet. So I just want to keep pushing until I reach where I'm headed. So it may not be perfection in the eyes of this person because they don't perceive perfection the way I perceive it, but in my eyes. So that's why I kind of grind the way I do. With inspiration also from, having to feed my kids, different things like that. But it's really my dream that I must capture. So that's why I kind of grind. I must capture this dream. It's mine.
You are a songwriter. I hear the lyrics coming out. You can write a song about this too. No, but I like that. I like that. I see it in your eyes that, when you say it's my dream, if you don't love what you're doing, you're not going to do it hard.
No.
So, yeah, I like that. Let me send a shout out to 3DP Magazine if you guys want to know what's going on in the Tri-Counties, Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade. You need to check out 3dpmagazine.com, who just merged with Miami Soulfly magazine.com. So check them out. They're accepting advertisements. They need people to advertise in the magazine. So if you want your business to be talked about in one of the best magazines out today, this is a very classy magazine, and get your business in here, 3dpmagazine.com. Right? So, my show goes out to the military all the time. It's dedicated to the military. Actually, today's show is dedicated to my grandmother. But every show is dedicated to the troops. The reason being is because I'm a vet myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in the Air Force, and I think that the troops, wherever they're stationed, they can log in and catch the show, and I think it makes them feel good. I hope that it does make them feel good that they understand that we back home haven't forgotten about them.
Oh, definitely.
And we're continuing to keep them in our prayers.
Always. And I actually I did a song with a guy who's a veteran also. He's a spoken word artist, and his name is Marlon Ferdinand, but he goes by the name of POW, which is Prisoner of Words.
Oh.
But he's also a vet, and he does a lot of shows over there. He flew over to Iraq and done a couple of shows. He's big in the spoken word community.
Wow.
And we actually teamed up and did a collaboration not too long ago, and it'll be on his album now. So.
Oh yeah, definitely want to hear that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have all his info as far as how to get his music, but
Yeah,
deep.
I'll find
Seriously
him.
deep. POW, prisoner of word.
All right. I'll find him. He ain't getting past summer.
I'm pretty sure the troops know him because he actually had a radio station over there in Iraq for them to listen to.
Oh, good.
Well, he was over there for a while. I can't remember how long he was stationed over there.
Yeah. See, yeah, that's wonderful, and you know, it lets them know that we haven't forgotten about them,
Definitely.
and you know, and we're always praying for them to come back home. And when you were talking about you shot for a TV show last week, right? Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, we did a performance for Miami Music Television last Thursday, and we had a couple of artists, and I was the feature artist. And so I got up there and, you know, did my thing. Gave them all what I was blessed to do.
Yeah. So how many songs did you do?
I was allotted 3 songs.
Okay.
So I did I Ain't Going Nowhere.
Okay.
That's my song. And a brand new one we got out called Bottles on Deck.
Yeah, we're going to hear that later too.
Yeah.
I listened to it. I like it. I like the beginning of it. The intro was like hard. I was like, should I put this? But then I didn't want to cut it off, and you know, I just like to kind of play the whole thing of that. Tell us a little bit about. I know you spoke earlier about I Ain't Going Nowhere, but I want to play it now.
Okay.
And then what we'll do is we'll play it,
Mm-hmm.
and then come back because you kind of preferenced it earlier. But go ahead and play it, Bree, and we'll come back and talk about it after. So Miami. Straight up. I love it. If you don't know, now you know. Those people who don't know what Miami is, that's right there, right?
That's it.
Tell them.
Well, I Ain't Going Nowhere. It was produced by AV of Clockwork Tracks, also engineered by AV of Clockwork Tracks. And like I say, that's my main engineer, and he knows me, he knows my sound. Mm-hmm. So really, that was the first song that I wrote a cappella, and he dressed the beat around it.
Really?
Yeah. And so after he dressed the beat around, it's like I wrote the words, I gave him a skeleton, and he dressed it up, made it look nice. So we touched it up, made everything look good, and then Piccolo came in and put the finishing touches. Just like if you was dressing a mannequin up.
Yeah.
So Piccolo kind of added the accessories, you know, like the necklace, the makeup, the things that make it look good, stand out.
Yeah. So okay, let me go back and make sure that I got this right. So you wrote the song first.
I wrote the first verse.
Okay. Being
that I had the concept in my mind that I'm not going nowhere, I'm coming back, and this time I'm giving it my all. This is me. You can see me here, you can see me there. You can find me anywhere, but I will be here. So I wrote the first verse.
Okay.
And then after that, he dressed the beat around that first verse. Yeah. And then it just helped the second and third to flow like, after I heard the beat, it was...
But the thing is, because normally, and I don't know if every rapper writes like this, but I have an artist myself, and I know that he has to have a beat. Usually.
Yes,
he has to hear a beat, and then... So you did it the other way around.
For that song.
For that.
I don't always do it like that.
Okay.
But for that song. Because he wanted he was trying to tell me that he knows my sound, so it's right. And like you said, it's a family, it's a group thing. There's so many things that go into making a song. And he was telling me that just right, and I promise you that I'll handle the rest. So.
And he did.
He did.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes it takes you to step outside your comfort zone to get to
find out what you're working with.
Yeah.
You know, what's around you.
Wow, that's really good. That's really good and different. So, you know, that just proves that you can really do anything.
Yeah, just about.
He's like, yeah. No, but seriously, I like that because, you know, sometimes we're scared or afraid. I don't want to say scared, but intimidated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like I said, you stepped outside your comfort zone there a little bit, but it was worth it. Way worth it. So, what kind of performances do you have? Anything coming up?
Well, right now, I have I'm supposed to perform. I got this guy named LS Spade who does a lot of networking in Miami also, and he has a big thing coming up called 305-504, and he's showcasing a lot of Miami artists. So he reached out to me because we have a couple of connections in between us, and he asked me if I wanted to come on, and I was like, I wouldn't mind doing it. So that's supposed to be on. He didn't give me an exact date, but it's early December. So it's supposed to feature a couple of artists from New Orleans, also Miami artists. And it's kind of connecting Miami and New Orleans, 305 to 504. That's the most recent thing we have coming up. Other than that, it's just finishing up the project and heavy promotion. Heavy promotion. Heavy.
Well, we're going to help you with that. I know that you have another talent. You're an actor.
Oh, yes.
So, you want to do some little acting? No. Put you on the spot. And action.
No, I took part in a movie back in 2008, The Next Hit.
Okay.
It was filmed down in Miami. It starred Lock Voorhees, Fredro Starr, Rick Ross, Flo Rida, Joe Shalacy from the First 48. So, also did that and the plays that I do with E-Row also.
Yeah.
So, kind of juggle a couple of things.
Yeah, man, you are just like, how many threats is that? That's more than a triple threat, right? We've gone over, I mean, you're amazing. You're very talented songwriter and just everything, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. Do you have any shout-outs that you'd like to send out? Don't worry about that. That's just...
No.
They'll still record. We just can't take any callers after we go off at 7, so don't worry.
Definitely, I want to give a shout-out to everybody affiliated with Lay It Down Entertainment, Bottom Ground Entertainment. You know, definitely my 2 daughters, Michelle McCullough, Jordan McCullough. I want to give a shout-out to everybody, all the fans, which I don't even call fans. I actually call them fam because you're not my fans, you're my family.
Definitely.
So I want to give a shout out to everybody. Definitely Greg, Ray, Chad, Domingo, you know, GB, Made a Big Said, you know, Bait, all the boys who stand behind me, win, lose, or draw. I mean, all of them have confidence, who give it their all and risk everything the same way I do it. So, and the loveliness, Summer. For giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I've been wanting to have you on, and I'm just thankful that you have time in your busy schedule to come by, you know.
Definitely.
And we're going to talk about some more of your other music after we go off of Blog Talk. We're still live, though. I want to know what your 5-year plan is. I know you've been in the game a while, but I know you still got more in you. So talk about what you plan to do.
In 5 years, where I plan on being, I plan on being up there in the talks with everybody else. To some people, they may not see me as the best, and the best is, of course, in the eye of the beholder when it comes to music, because some people like certain styles, different genres, different styles of rap, hip hop. But I definitely plan on being in the talks, and in 5 years, I want to open up the gates to Miami like nobody has ever, because it's such an abundance of talent that gets overlooked and stepped on by other talent out of Miami who never learned how to reach back. So that's what I really want to do. I wanted to start a platform where the world can see Miami artists versus just Miami people seeing Miami artists, or just a southern region.
Right.
Because southern music is almost like taking over nationwide. So why aren't we catapulted with everybody else?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel that too.
The pledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pledge. He has a pledge that's coming out. You can talk about the pledge. Pretty much is already copyrighted, and it will be out as soon as the album get finished up. It will be a new pledge in Miami.
Kind of like an oath.
Yeah, live by, die by. Mm-hmm. It needs to be a new beginning in Miami. It already started. It will evolve real soon. 2012, 2013 will be our year.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you guys can do it because, again, you have a great team working with you, and you have that, you can't go wrong, you know. I'm thankful to have the team that I have here, Class 6 Recording Studios. They're always looking out for me. My assistant, Bree, she does everything over there. People don't even know what all it takes to put this show together. It takes a lot, and she's a big part of that, and that's my girl. And so when you have a professional team with you, you know, the sky is the limit. And I know it is for you too. I want to play your song, your new song. How much time do we have? We're still recording on the air, so Bree, I dropped it down. It's down in the bottom. You see it on the player, and it's called, what's the name of the song?
Bottles on Deck.
Bottles on Deck.
Can you play that high volume? This is
Well, you do. Tetris.
Game Boy. Tetris.
I like that.
Not that young.
Yeah, yeah. You look young though, and you know, like your swag, like I said, is nice. So, good look. That's the beginning. I like the intro because it's sort of, as we go back again to the old school hip hop way, the way.
That was my one fun song we was just having fun.
Yeah, I love it though. So, we got LA Keith in the building with Summer. On Point with Summer, where it's always summertime, baby. I really, really appreciate you guys, again, taking time coming on. You know, we're going to look for the song with POW. We'll definitely get that and try to get that on and promote that for you too when it comes out. Let me know. And anything new that you have, bring it back. Bring it back to us. You know, we'll bring you on the show whenever you want. And if there's anything that we can do for you here, let us know.
Definitely.
You know, and just wish you all the success that is due to you, because it is. And you've worked hard and long enough. So it's starting for you now. And I admire the pledge. The reason why I admire the pledge is that you're looking out for others. You know,
definitely.
like it's like that old saying, don't forget where you came from. you know, you reaching back and you're going to help bring some others up with you.
Yeah,
You know, I love that pledge. So, again, thank you and your team for coming on the show. And as always, God bless the troops wherever you may be stationed. Come home safe. Come back soon. God bless you guys. Goodbye. That was a good